because we're not using those today. Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing.
Hey, Corey Thompson in the house.
Dude, it's hard without a live audience.
Yeah, it is. Pre-recording.
Well, I'm not even talking about the pre-recording. I'm just talking there's nobody here but me and you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't have Trey in the background to make laugh. It's like.
Oh, wait. That's the wrong one. Nope. There we go.
Just pound this orange button.
The orange button. Yeah. So the whole concept of this thing is to just basically free form, whatever. With Propelio, when we were doing those shows, it's like, hey, the reason I was always on to you, like, hey, stay on topic or really get to the meat of something is because you want to be value add.
Right.
The concept of this is more like, hey, giving us the freedom and the ability to go on those rabbit holes.
Dude, I love it.
So like if you wanted to, like whatever we want to talk about, we just go and if you spend an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours on a shade of red, who cares?
Dude, okay, entertainment has changed dramatically in our life. Like right now, so we bought a house, right? The guy died and we got all his stuff. So I got his TV and his Roku.
You're just happy. I mean, you're not obviously not happy about somebody dying, but
no. But I mean, we got his stuff. So
yeah,
I took that shit. And I've got a dresser from like another eviction. So, I mean, my whole house, everything in my house
you're
came
like the
from
cheapest rich guy I know.
Yeah. So I've got this TV and this Roku, but I didn't know what a Roku was. You know what I mean? So I'm from Groesbeck.
Right.
And then it's like, how does this thing work? And I started burning up data on my phone. And even with Netflix and all the cool stuff, I still watch YouTube. I watch guys like me and you talk about shit that doesn't matter on YouTube.
Yeah.
Way more than I watch anything of any. I mean, I watch like Meat Eater because I like that.
How did you come across that guy though?
Well, my buddy
Netflix or just somebody.
Well, his show came out back when I had cable forever ago, but I never got into it because he was like too hippie for me. He was one with the beast. He wouldn't like all the hunting guys from like my town. Like we want to take the long unethical shot and see if we can just hit something that's 1,000 yards away. Fuck it.
Why is it not an unethical shot?
Because you might not kill it. You might wound it.
Wound it.
Yeah, because
okay.
You don't practice at 1,000 yards. You just see something, you're like,
Because in hunting, one shot, one kill, because you don't want to have it hurt.
Yeah, you don't want to wound it. And but the bravado of the hunting background and culture I come from is, fuck it, see it. You paid your money, try to shoot it.
So, do you think that translate into the business world at all with you specifically?
Oh yeah.
Because I know when it comes to negotiate or phone calls, sometimes you're just for the hell of it being stupid, but you go for the jugular pretty much every time.
Yeah, but not as much as other people, I'm finding out. So we're doing these marketing masterminds all over the country, and I get to see professionals.
We'll drop links in the below or whatever.
That's cool. Anyways, I see professionals do it, and they are savages. Where I'm kind of just
on the mastermind front, the sales front.
The salespeople, they're savages.
Yeah,
they flip it on you. I watched a lawyer take it down a divorce list. It was crazy. But that Meat Eater guy, he was just a little bit too like hippy dippy for me. But now I'm into that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm into it strong.
I came across him on the Joe Rogan podcast.
And see, I didn't know him and Joe Rogan were buddies until I started watching the show on Netflix and Joe Rogan goes hunting with him. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. Like Joe Rogan, for instance, Bert Chrysler, or he's got that weird K last name. He's a really funny comedian, tells the story about the Russian mafia. But he doesn't wear a shirt when he's on stage.
I know who you're talking about, but I haven't seen him.
Well, he's got his own Bertcast. I watch it all the time. And that's what I was referencing whenever we started this convo.
Okay.
Two guys like me and you chopping it up.
I'm not taking my shirt off.
Well, Bert don't either.
Okay.
Not on the podcast.
So, but as far as the masterminds go, like what is, because I know before we started recording, you were saying like the problem I did with this was you have nothing to sell.
You better get something to sell, Ryan Harper.
I'm trying to. So as far as if you don't have anything to sell, I know that ultimately there's and if I'm putting words in your mouth or if I have it wrong, just hey, cut this out. Stop the presses. Is yes, there is an abundance mindset. Yes, you wanted to help people, but ultimately there's also a factor of wanting to fund your next deal. So if you could fill a room of 10, 100 people, and out of the 100 people, 50 of the people are your really big cheerleaders and they walk away with good information, and maybe 5 to 12 of them actually have money and don't really want to do deals, but they want to fund your deals, that's a huge win, because private capital is the lifeblood of this business.
Well, I accidentally built a brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really brand building. It's just me with a camera, Facebook Live, and
picking on the next guy, next gal.
Yeah, like I mean, that's it. Like I mean, it's just talking a lot of shit and learning and being me.
I just thought of sorry to interrupt, but I just thought of the best website that needs to be set up, because I don't know if you remember about a year ago or so, Jason McDougal set up a website for RJ Bates of RJ Bates #1 fan, or the fan club website. I think what would be a fun website to set up for you, and by the time this comes out, I may have already done it. So if I've done it, check out the link below. Is maybe like a betting thing where, well, it won't be betting because I don't think you could do that legally. But like, when will Corey be Facebook jailed next? And like, what do they call it? Like the pools?
Yeah, it's like a growing pool. It's
like a dead pool, but it'd be like, but the Facebook jail pool for Corey Thompson.
Yeah. So that, yeah, I mean, case in point, but I've toned down a lot since I worked in the oil field, right? My memories still come up, and I don't even share them because I'm like, that's going to get me banned.
Well, what's funny is like, because you come up a lot, and I talk about you a lot behind your back, but everything I say, I've said to you multiple times.
No, yeah.
So what do I say to you multiple times?
Tone it down. Be positive. Positive. We want positivity.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, just shut
up. Just shut up. I have these conversations yesterday, but I did a Facebook rant yesterday, and I think everybody thinks that I'm just out here like whatevering. But we kind of talked about it off camera about I think it's short-sighted in business to go after $200 a month right now under a premise that doesn't really,
I think
that you're not an expert in.
I think ultimately authenticity wins out.
I think so too.
Like if I'm trying to do, obviously I want money. If I can make $200, I want to make $200. Right. Short-sighted, long-sighted, whatever. That being said, if by making $200 I lose my brand, or I jeopardize the brand or the ethicalness or anything like that, that's why like at like with Propelio, anytime somebody would ever say something like, "Oh, y'all are just stealing this, stealing that," it's like, time the hell out.
That's it.
I've spent 2.5 years building Propelio brand, my personal brand, to build a community. I'm not going to jeopardize any of that for a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 fucking deal.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing that, for me, on the flip side of this, being the guy that didn't want to take money and didn't want to do all that, I didn't want to take money because I didn't want to deal with people.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be beholden to you. Like, you pay me $10,000, I owe you a lot of meat. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because I remember that. Like, because way back, what was it, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, people were hitting you up to coach you, or you coach them, and you're like, that's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. Yeah. And I don't think it's the time of my life. Well, not a lot changed, okay, but something did happen. Emery started school, and then I got to take her to school in the morning, and then I got to get her off the bus in the evening, and that slows down what I can do during the day, right? Versus
being able to be in El Paso at 6,
right,
and San Antonio by 7, and Dallas by 8, and Houston by whatever.
So yeah, I had to adjust that life, and it's like in an office, and this setup right here would be ideal. You know what I mean? I talked to you about the webinars and the webinar program build out and all that, and you get to looking at it, and it's like I'm about to have to go for a big ask and go. We're remodeling, about to kick off remodels on 4 different apartment complexes, top to bottom, and I'm going to be over the top of those, and I'm going to be seeing them multiple times a week and everything like that. We'll be able to cover that, no problem. But within that, it's a big ask to go ask for whatever money it took to set this up.
Right. Well, time, expertise, because the money side is not the thing. It's I've been trying to build this out since August,
Right.
and I've just haven't had time. But then not only that, but the 2.5 years of learning all this stuff with Propelio, that took a lot of time and effort and money, etc. So
Right.
anybody could go buy a $600 Rode broadcaster board. Links below. Affiliate. What's up? Give me that $7. I don't know.
They're like, oh, I got to touch it again to turn it off. No,
but that's the thing
badass.
is like, and I don't think going back to the original conversation about being authentic of,
Right.
of where people are making the $200 or whatever is, and what we're talking about is pseudo influencers in the real estate space going out saying, hey, I got a new skip tracing company. It's like, well, do you?
You don't.
Or a property management or a construction or whatever, and all they've done is slap their brand on top of something. I am 100% okay with affiliates. I'm sure down below there's probably in the description of this video I'm going to have Amazon book recommendations.
Yep.
I'm going to have a skip tracing referral to back skip tracing. I'm sure as hell going to put a link to this thing for Amazon. You don't get paid much from a click, but if you get 1 million clicks, that's a lot of money.
Well, it's good to think about it,
Yeah.
and get it in place before you make it big.
But the whole point of that was not to just
Right.
take back the curtain, but it's just be authentic about it.
Right.
Like I'm okay somebody doing a class on notes without knowing anything about notes if they're hosting it and they bring an expert in.
That's right.
Like I've done things here with Kristen Gertz where she's done 2 different notes classes. I don't know anything about notes, but she comes in and it's just like, oh my God.
You made money on that.
Like, yeah, couple grand. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And what worries me, and that's what the conversation we were having, I get in a room where everybody paid $100 to get in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the main attraction, right? And you never know who's going to come to these things. You obviously assume it's going to be all newbies. But in that room, there's 3 multimillionaires, multimillionaires. And they're savages. They understand the business and everything else. And I go in there with a skip tracing company and I start trying to shove it down their throat because, I'm branding myself as a skip trace company then. And now I'm supposed to be an expert in that space.
And I don't want to just necessarily pick on skip tracing because there's calls. There's, I'm sure, Appfolio and all these other things. Everything is white labeled.
Right. Everything that you can white label. And so I'm pushing this on them to try to make, a few $100. And at the end of it, you don't know who's there. You haven't got to know everybody, the deep ins and deep outs, but afterwards they want to take you to dinner or they want to, we went to the Chicken, which is in College Station, and sit down with a gentleman. And it turns out he's got 120 units right there in College Station. And is somebody that you really want to know. He's built system and processes for property management like you wouldn't believe. And the entire time I've been trying to get him to buy my skip tracing in class. Now that ain't the value I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you're basically sacrificing
authenticity.
You're sacrificing being authentic, but potentially having a multi-million-dollar relationship partnership for maybe $100, $200 a month.
Right. And
in affiliates or whatever from that one person.
And so that gentleman and me the next day go look at an apartment complex, basically 19 units that somebody wanted to sell that we ginned up in the class. Well, the other guy in the class that raises his head, he had 600 units and he's like, hey, I'll fund that deal for y'all. And I just can't be as short-sighted as, well, let me go after these little, it's just not the time yet. You know what I mean? It's just not. Like when you've got 100,000 followers, you turn that on, a lot of money shows up instantly.
Right.
But right now you'd be selling those services hard, and it would negatively affect the people that are going to enter the room with you, because the people that paid $100 to get in that room, and we found out as we got to know them, some of them signed up for the Vegas mastermind, right? They just wanted to meet the dude. They met the dude. Boom. $5,000 check. That's what we were talking about at the beginning.
I actually had an idea and this is actually funny, and this is the most random topic that we're talking about because it's real estate, but it's more like real estate industry. But I had an idea I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I think I told you about that. The NASCAR jacket.
Yep.
Remember that? Where I was like, I wonder, and I'll try to give it to Pat Hilton. I know y'all don't really talk that much anymore, but whatever. But the idea was get like a blazer or something. Get your batch skip tracing, get your Easy Street Capitals, get your Propelios, get your whoever, and be like, or Rocket Station, be like, hey, I'll give you the right shoulder or the right shoulder for $500 a month, and I'll go to one networking event a week, and I'll be loud and it'll be so absurd, everybody want to get a picture with you.
That's it.
And it's just like, on one level, I think that's so funny and so ridiculous that I would love to do it, because yeah, you make a couple grand, but you're losing kind of your soul doing that. Like, I don't mind pitching stuff on video or from stage, whatever, but like when it's on your skin, it feels dirty.
No, get one of those fake tattoos and go shirtless.
That's at least a $5,000.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be shirtless at these events.
I will say,
with
okay,
your logos
so
fake tattooed on me for a month.
If you want Ryan, there's a GoFundMe. If you want Ryan to have like a big, like a Propelio Comet, that's at least $5,000.
Yeah, but
probably more.
Hey, I guarantee you they're not going to forget you. It's like handing out condoms for business cards.
God,
you know, they don't forget that guy.
People were like, yeah, they don't forget, but they also might not do business.
Well, you know what was funny? Mitch Stevens,
yeah,
he got one. He thought it was a wet wipe. So he got home. The guy that came
love
down
Mitch, by the way.
Love Mitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to see him next Wednesday at Brick. It might be when this comes out. So
who knows?
He's going to be in College Station. But, you know, the gentleman that came down from Portland took me down to Mitch's ranch because he's his student. So we rode around with Mitch on his ranch for a day, which is cool.
Yeah.
And Mitch is like, I remember you. You're that son of a bitch that gave me that condom. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I thought that was a wet wipe because it was in my pocket. My wife was like, what is this?
At least he didn't think it was like gum.
Oh man.
Because imagine if it was like a flavored condom, and then all of a sudden he's like, I taste the strawberry, but it's not very.
It's got a little rubber to it.
Yeah, it's got a little.
But yeah, I think about that. You know, from my side of things, I think people think that I'm just out here, you know, trying to shout down somebody, and I don't care. Go make your money. It doesn't matter. I just think from like a business perspective, there's a lot of business people, you know, that don't look at the long game of what they're trying to build when they're really looking. And this is all stuff that I've learned. Grant Cardone,
right? You
know, I didn't have a long game when I got in here, and I don't have a real long game now, but I do understand that we're gonna have opportunities to partner with multimillionaires several times over and do good things in this industry. That doesn't hold as much water, you know. I mean, that holds more water than, you know, going after this low hanging fruit. And really, because now you're just hammering every day, you know, to sell that stuff because you can't see the needle move on it because you're not making that much money on it. You know what I mean?
From like talking about, are we still talking about the affiliate stuff?
Yeah, like if I'm sitting here trying to sell whatever, and I'm like, you know, buy.
To me though, it's the same thing as depends on how much influence you have. Like I've thought about this for a good while now, and to me, the biggest currency that you can have now, obviously, if you have a gajillion dollars, then just turn this off and don't listen to what I'm about to say. Because it goes back to, would you rather have $30 million or 30 million followers? And people that say, I want $30 million, it's like, well, think about that. Yes, that's a lot of money. Yes, you can go buy a house, go buy an island, do what you want. Right. 30 million followers, though, if you know how to monetize that, that's potentially $1 billion company.
Oh, no doubt.
Because if you're able to get $10 from,
right,
you know, whatever.
Well, and that was a thing, you know, back to the beginning of this, didn't have a product, and didn't up until recently, probably within the last year, couldn't bring the value, couldn't bring the attention that it would take, couldn't bring any of that stuff. Now Emery goes with her mom on the weekends. So I set a goal in 2020. I watched a Grant Cardone video where he talked about, you know, his early days of banging it out and going and doing these hotel conferences and all the stuff that he was doing.
Mm-hmm. So when you do these, like, what's the goal? Is it the influence, or is it, should you try to find that that one or two guys that has the lot of deals, and then the other guy that has all the money.
Well, I didn't even realize that those people would walk in the room for $100, right? If your price point's too low, people don't see value in it. So Phoenix, 6 people bought tickets, 1 showed up. Price was too low.
At $100.
At $100, they slept in.
But you know, it's funny because like on the other side is like I did an event here 3 months ago with
Right.
Kristen, and there was like 25 people showed up. It was $150 a pop, and I get a email. Hey, do you have an air match or something? Because I'd really like just sleep on the floor and just, you know, I'll drive back because I'm coming in from Austin. I'm thinking to myself, well, you just sleep on the couch, man. There's, you know, bring a towel, whatever. There's showers here, but you don't need an air mattress. Just sleep on the couch. We'll be fine. Later, find out this guy that came up that wanted that. I'm just thinking maybe he's out. He has the biggest truck in the front yard, and he's apparently the godfather of some owner financing strategies, and he's been doing real estate since like '82.
Right.
He's just cheap and frugal, but he's loaded out the ass. And again, it's like that's a random, interesting, stupid, funny story, but at the same time is and that goes back to the deeper concept of never judging a book by its cover, especially in real estate.
Right.
But it's like to think about this guy. This guy knows everything about notes. Why is he here?
Well, okay, so something I've learned from this is, one, we're doing the Vegas mastermind, which I've got a year-long mastermind tied to that. The year-long mastermind's $5,000. The idea behind that is to make the money back from the Grant Cardone interview. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we make the money back,
it's not just the interview though. You got the press box, right?
Yeah, no, we got that, but it don't matter. I just want to make the money back.
Yeah,
I don't want to be out that money. So that was the original goal. It was like, I want to make that money back, and I want to see what's out there. I want to see who shows up.
Every time I ask you about sales, and you're like, well, I got a lot of interest, but I keep turning people down because I want to make sure they're the right people.
I do.
So let's go into that a bit, because I think that shows how authentic and how real you are. But at the same time, it's like, you don't want to, maybe you just don't want to work with you want to make sure they're the right person and have success.
There's a time and place to spend $5,000 on your next phase of your education, right? Mm-hmm. And to take your only $5,000 and know that whenever you go there, it's going to be like me and you walking into Mexico right now. It's going to be Spanish. We'll get some of it, but we won't get all of it. And I don't want that to be their reality. You know what I mean? I just lay out a plan for them on the phone. Hey, do these things. See if you can lock up a deal doing that. You don't need to pay $5,000 to do this. Come to one of these $100 masterminds, spend that $5,000 on marketing, and then whenever you get more money and get ready to learn more advanced strategies and get in the right room, you'll be there. But people like Blake Bowman, I couldn't, Blake's pretty new, but I couldn't keep him out. And, he just refused to take no for an answer. But Blake's the kind of hustler that had done a couple of deals with just pure hustle. And he's going to meet his partners in that room. He's going to meet the people that he's going to feed deals to in that room, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the unique part about it. So it started out like I'll put together a mastermind. One, I thought naively, well, there's people already waiting. They've already offered me money, so I'll just turn it on and money.
Nah.
It didn't, no. So then I was like, well, I'm going to have to sell this thing. And, and the structure and everything it's all beyond me. Like I need to hire you to put together the structure. Because, people want to come out and support, like other people, other investors want to be a part of it and for all the right reasons. But for me, it's like, I know, like, okay, the owners of Paper Stack are going to be at our mastermind in Vegas. And I hadn't even made that announcement. This is the first time I've said it, but it's like, they're going to remake their platform to help us sell wraps. And that's huge.
And Paper Stack is the note, like it's the forum for like an auction floor for notes, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a place to list notes. I mean, it's like MLS for notes, I guess. But and it's a great place to sell notes. I mean, and it's a great place to buy notes if you're into buying notes. If you're buying large groups, I mean, we're selling them at extreme discounts on there, and those guys are pulling them together and then selling them. The note game.
I don't know anything.
Oh, well, All right. So, anyways, so within that,
you remember, you know me, I like to play the dumb idiot. That way nobody could call me out for trying to fake it.
yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. But, you know, that room ends up being it. So the goal for the mastermind was to get back the money for Grant Cardone. What it ended up being was I was like, you know, I'm gonna have to, I kept having to add value to it. It was like originally it was just going to be Vegas. Then I was like, I'll do a year. And then I seen that Grant Cardone interview and I was like, oh shit, you know, I've totally missed the boat, because in Sell or Be Sold, Grant talks about having multiple price points, because sometimes you'll take somebody to a product and they'll be like, I don't like the price. That don't mean the price too high. It means it could be too low. And he said one of the biggest tricks he's learned, and this was something that just resonated with me. He sells the same product for $49 and for $40,000. Some people only see value in the $49. They will only buy at the $49 price point, and some people won't buy it unless it's $40,000.
We'll take the Propelio Academy. There's literally, like word for word content. I know. Shout out Propelio Academy.
Yeah.
Propelio.com/academy. There's literally word for word content, and I won't say who or what, but just assume every one of them. It's 100% on the Academy for free, but yet they still sell it on their sites for whatever, and they still get it. And this is not a dig at anyone. It's more of a, hey, thank you for being a part of this movement. But it goes back to your point that, or Grant's point actually, that some people don't see
value.
The $49. They only see the $40,000.
That's it. And so he's like, you know, the real trick to master is to be able to sell the same product for $49 and $40,000, because all you're doing is touching on where they perceive value, and you're making that work. And so I got to thinking about it, and we had done the deals with Pat where we did the masterminds and all that stuff, and it was just something we threw together so Pat would have a revenue stream. But you know, you came to the one in Tyler, and there was people from all over the country that came, and I kept thinking,
Dustin from Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio, California. I mean, we had people from all over the country. It was amazing. But within that, I was like, you know, I could do that. I don't have Emory on the weekends. I could do that every weekend. There's 52 weekends in a year. Some of them are going to be holidays. So I'll put 50 out. You know what I mean? I'll put 50 up on the board. And I'll see if I can't get me a cameraman hired doing those. Now, that being said, this weekend, right now, I'm about to get on a plane, and it's going to probably cost us about $1,200 this weekend. We're going to lose $1,200 to keep our commitment to go teach. Essentially, I think it's 12 people.
Yeah, but I would look at it from not a $1,200 loss, but
it's not
a $1,200 investment, because if the whole time you're on social media, you're Facebook Live and you're Instagram posting, you're doing IG stories, extra TikTok and whatever,
it lifts the whole brand, and it's something that I'm willing to do in that moment. I'm willing to do that where other people aren't willing to. They value other things, and I value the same things. I value time with Emory, but I don't have Emory on the weekends. You know what I mean? So I could do something at the local office, and you know what I mean? I could make it work over the weekend. I could go look at deals, whatever it is. But that's the other thing. Jason Witherspoon's made all this possible, really and truly, because his role, you know, we have a small team that looks at deals every day, and I don't have to look at deals. I don't have to look at them until they're ready to sell. If I even look at them at all, I haven't. I mean, several deals I've never laid eyes on that we made good money on, and that's what makes it possible. So all this team building and scaling and all the stuff that everybody talks about on the internet, because you know it'll sell more tickets. We've accidentally done it. It's like we just partnered with the right people.
So if I was gonna consult with you, this is what I would say. I'd be like, how much in the short term? Because you say hire a cameraman,
right?
Here's what I would suggest. I would suggest saying, okay, when you go to these places, you fly out the day before,
yeah,
and you fly back the night of or the night after.
Yep. So I dropped Emory off at school this morning, and I'll be able to pick her up, you know, when she gets off the bus on Monday.
Okay.
So ultimately, I wish I'd have reached out to Max Maxwell and let him know that I was going to be in North Carolina, and tried to set something up on Monday, but I'm flying back Sunday night. And that's short-sightedness on my part. But at the same time, I'm not, being a one-person gig. Now we're hiring somebody. That's the other thing. So the cameraman's the thing that everybody will see and know exists. We're interviewing for me an assistant this week. That's going to be paid for out of these. There's no money in any of this for my personal gain.
What I was trying to get to from what I would suggest is, instead of, and yes, you can think of hiring a cameraman, but instead think of, okay, finding a temporary Dave. Dave is Max's guy.
Right.
And I don't know. First of all, there's more than just Dave, but Dave does a lot of his day-to-day shooting, and he does a lot of his Instagram work and a lot of his graphics. So if you, depending on the budget, maybe you find somebody who's still in college, or maybe I find them for you, whatever. And maybe it's $500 which is nothing, because I know Travion, he'd probably charge $2,000.
Right.
But Travion's been doing this for 10 plus years.
Right.
Somebody who's still fairly new, maybe you can get them for $500. But then you pay for their flight, you pay for the hotels, you don't put them on the floor.
No,
you have to get them a hotel room.
Yeah.
But you do that, and yes, the first 2-3 months is going to be $1,000 more than you were planning on losing, because you're paying for him or her, and you're paying for the staying, the logistics.
Right.
But the quality of footage,
yes,
and you get them to do, not just to do the video itself and the breakdown, the vloggy type style. You get them to do Instagram stories, you get them to do graphics, and then all of a sudden you have
good content,
fairly good quality content.
That's right.
And then next thing you know, these events that, hey, you used to get 3 people, 6 people, now you get 30 people, and you get 60 people.
Well, and ultimately that's the build up, right? So first off, you got to figure out what the event is. You know me. It's like, sit down and write it down, Corey. Okay. I'll write it
I know
down.
you too, because Jason's like, Ryan, please help him. You do events. Please just help him. I'm not saying he's ever done that.
Well, but it's so you got to figure out what it is, right? You got to figure out the flow, and getting to be like the early events, getting to do these small ones is a great crash test, because then you get feedback, immediate feedback.
Well, the thing is also, depending on, when it comes to events, losing $500 on an event sucks.
It does.
Losing $50,000 on an event really sucks.
Right.
Losing $500,000 on an event makes you go, I ain't ever even going to another event.
That's it. So I don't like, okay, I'll give you an example. The first event we did, let me see. Where did we do it? I don't remember. But anyways, Corpus. We did it in Corpus. So we had a turnout of 12 people. Drove down there, $60 in fuel. Stayed at a hotel on points. Venue cost us $160 party tray. So $160 venue, which was also my lunch. So and then the marketing, we got to monetize the marketing. Get what I'm saying? We got to make money off the deals. So that one with 13, 14 people in the room was a huge success, right?
Right.
And so now we're into socialism, because since that one was a success, the next one was a success because it was close. And then College Station was a home run because it was close. El Paso, even though we're going to have to do it twice, it's still going to be good because we got 22 or 23 people in the room. So basically, Texas is subsidizing the rest of the nation. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. That's fine. Because what you cannot mistake the 6, like, I'm going to kill it for the 6 people. With 6 people in the room, it's going to be that much better. Their experience, right? And that's great for them. When I get to Charlotte, it's going to be the same thing. But it's going to be like the things I'm learning about myself. Like you said, it's a $1,200 investment. But I also want people to understand that when you have a commitment, you keep the commitment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not. It's not as if I'd be like, somebody, a very large somebody, booked an event, took all the money, didn't show up to the event because he didn't sell enough, and didn't give him a refund. And that was what everybody in El Paso thought was happening to them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't have the event scheduled 2 months in advance because I want to be able to move a day if something like this happens. That storm that came through Dallas canceled my flight in Dallas. I drove to Houston. They canceled them down there. I didn't get out till the next morning, and it sucked. But we went to Top Golf, made the best of it. And whenever we get back into El Paso, we're going to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is how much better these events are making me, because I've got to go do my homework and figure out how to pull public data in Nashville, right? I ain't never seen their systems. I don't know. I don't even know what their deeds are called. I found a deed in Arizona called a beneficiary deed. And they're known as ladybird deeds in Texas, but they're not filed as ladybird deeds. You just kind of run across one every once in a while. And they're not labeled ladybird deeds either. I don't even know what they're called. I've not seen them. I've only dealt with one in title. But beneficiary deeds is like this. I'm going to give Ryan Harper my house when I die. That's it. That's all it says. And it's filed, but I still own the house. If I sell it, I sell it. But I'm going to give it to you when I die. Why would I be signing that deed? Because I plan on dying. Some people plan dying way sooner than others. But having that in your public record in Arizona, like, I got one dude in the class. Like, the people that slept in on this, what they might already know it. You know what I mean? It might be something they already know. But we're sitting there with Skip Genie out, banging those lines.
That's why you can give all the value in the world. If the crowd that's there isn't receptive, it doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't matter.
We did an event here with Kristen, and I think we had five people came, and I asked Kristen, I was like, "Do you still want to do this?" For me, I would rather do it because it's a Saturday afternoon, still make a couple $100. It's okay. And we made that commitment like you talked about.
Got to keep your commitment.
Here's what I don't talk about publicly, which I guess I'm talking about now, here is a funny, deep, dark, it's not a secret, but it's obvious. It's an obvious statement, but it's kind of like really? Out of all the events I've ever done in real estate, whether it be the REI Expo days, the DFW Investor Days with Tim Harridge, with Propelio events, with the Whole Scaling Live events, and what I'm assuming with Quentin's event at Ground Zero and any other future events, I have, and hopefully Daniel's not listening either, I have never heard a presentation at the events I'm working because I am working. That being said, the reason I say that is when Kristen was doing her presentation, there's only 5 people. There's no work to be done.
So you got to watch it.
I got to pay attention. You know what happened out of that?
You became a note dude.
Light bulbs, and now I've got like 5-10 people on my team.
Right.
I'm building out a team to do notes and do institutional notes, and this will probably be the last time I ever talk about it on a podcast.
Well, that's good, but that's the thing. Like, I'm learning being so receptive.
Much. That was the whole point. Sorry, I didn't mean right, but just somebody gives it and light bulbs off, receive it and take action on it.
Well, and the bigger the crowd, the tougher it is to bridge the gap between the new guy and the guy that is already advanced, right? So the way our event rolls with this marketing is pretty sweet, because we start out with Skip Genie and Propelio and the county clerk's website, right? So these are things you can get for $200 a month. So your marketing budget is now $200 a month and your time.
Right.
And I promise you, because I did it, when after Propelio, and it was just something that they had that you could buy, the appointment of substitute trustee list. I started pulling my own trustee list in counties that nobody was working in, and started killing deals because I could pull it the day that it was filed. And when I would get to their door, I was the only one on their door, and I was there to help. You know what I mean? And I learned, and I've got a lead right here on this phone right now. Lady bought the house. Check this out. This is crazy. $400,000 house. $400,000 house that is getting foreclosed on. Okay. You know what her original mortgage was for? $22,000.
I was going to say 20.
And she took that loan out in 2002. She's 18 years in, and she's facing foreclosure. and she needs a HELOC loan. That's what she wants. That's what she said. She said, hey, I need a HELOC loan. Can I supply a HELOC loan? Probably not. Probably not legally. But can I go to that lady's house? Is it worth it for me to go to that lady's house and explain to her where she's at in life? Mm-hmm. Hey, here's where you're at. Here's why you can't get a HELOC, but I don't know that. Here's Nathan Slapper. Call him. If anybody can get you a HELOC, it's this motherfucker. And if it don't work out, let's figure the situation out. You know what I mean? Call me back. I know I have enough experience. I can pull out my crystal ball and know that if you don't have a job, the banks won't loan you money. Because I was in the same situation. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I literally was about to say, like, if you don't know Corey, obviously you're one of the smarter people out there, but because you're loud on certain topics, that gets overshadowed a lot. Your intelligence, like anybody, if you just watch that Grant Cardone interview that you did, and how prepared you were, and the amount of the notes and where you wanted to take the conversation, and how high the level of conversation y'all were actually at, shows and proves that you're super intelligent, but unfortunately gets shadowed by pregnant women emojis.
Yeah, the get her done emoji.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Nobody's ever caught on. It's like, that's the get her done emoji. So yeah, but when I'm in there, now I've branded myself as an expert, somebody that's there to help. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't work out with a loan, she's going to call me back. And regardless of that turns into a listing or a investment deal, doesn't matter. On, at $400,000 price point, imagine getting that listing. You know what I mean? That's $12,000. You sell that house. So those things, looking for that data, finding that data, and then having Skip Genie. We didn't have Skip Genie. You know what I mean? Like 2016, I wasn't rolling with Skip Genie. We didn't even know where to find a phone number. You know what I mean? You're just kind of lost.
It's funny is like, we all have brand loyalties, and I like Larry. Larry's cool. And I personally don't use like skip tracing softwares.
Right.
But Annie at Badge, I love Annie. So I'm like, Badge skip tracing all the way.
Well, and and I met Annie, and I met her brother, Ivo. Yeah. I like both of those guys. That's why I think it's such a disservice. These guys are slinging their product and not putting them in a partnership. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, this is R2R skip. But we're using batch skip tracing data. So whenever you have questions about data, ask these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Don't ask me. I'm just pimping this shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, and that's what's funny about Propelio. People, my DMs are full all the time. Hey, I got a question about Propelio, this, that, and the other. I'm like, and I try to be as respectful and to the point as possible. But in my head, I'm thinking to myself, can't you see that I'm on? How many times do I have to say I don't do real estate right now?
Right.
Or how many times do I have to say that I'm doing a Facebook Live, pimping out an event, or pimping out stupid questions, or being stupid, or driving while I'm live on Facebook. I don't know how to use Propelio, and then it's funny because like everybody's like, you probably shouldn't tell people that.
I don't think it's that big a deal. I think the problem would be to tell them, no, just double click this.
Yeah, I mean, I could give somebody a demo. But the thing is, though, you could demo it way better than I could demo it because you were a user.
Yeah.
Same thing with like if I was somebody in the Marines can shoot an M16 way better than a manufacturer could.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, and this is something funny to that point. You know what I mean? Whoever's asking that question, this is what I told somebody the other day.
Google it.
No, I didn't tell him to Google it. I said, you got 2 screens on your computer? He said, yeah. And he was talking about running a dollar, right? Like, I don't know how to run the dollar. I said, you got 2 screens on your computer? He said, yeah. I said, here, I'll tell you what. Put one screen up to your bank account, like just your Wells Fargo, wherever, log in so you can see your account balance. And then put the dollar up on the other screen. And I want you to click all over the fucking place on the bank account screen and see if you can make that motherfucker grow. And then I want you to go over to the dollar and hit buttons until it fucking sends a phone call, because that's the only thing that's going to make your bank account grow.
But you know what though? That's if I wish Trayvon was here with the board and we could do the whole golden nugget
Yeah.
thing, because that's really good, solid life goal advice.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's basically doing the whole vision board thing, but it's real time.
It's real time.
Like, hey, here's your $2.73 that's in your savings account.
Yeah. Look at it.
Look at it.
Just
Or look at this screen and figure it out.
Figure out which one. And if you do bang around on your bank account screen and find the button that makes it grow, let me know so we can all stop doing this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Look, don't hold out on your boy.
Right. It's like, hey, plant the money tree. Well, can I get a seedling?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, these things are funny. You know what I mean? Because it's a level of determination.
Well,
but it's like looking up the public record and going and knocking on the doors. When we leave that mastermind, the brand new person will have a way to do it on their budget. And, unless they're just, I don't even know.
And the guy with excuses will have an excuse.
We'll have an excuse, and that's it. And the experienced people will have a Cadillac Rolls Royce to run out if they want to throw $10,000 in a meat grinder and watch it light on fire. I don't care. You'll have everything. We don't go too much into training VAs and all that stuff because we don't use it in our business. We've done it before. We've had VAs pulling all this data and putting it in for us and doing all of that. And it's money well spent. The problem is, at a certain point, you just got to find your thing and do your thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for us, the freshest data wasn't going to get us the most dollars. We have private capital, so we can buy in areas that other people can't. So we already get equity built in. So we don't need fresh data.
You know what's funny is, like, in the real estate, especially, I mean, yes, there's this concept of abundance and everybody wants to help.
Right.
And I was talking to Marsha and Jay Coleman, and it's like, yes, you help people, and then we literally spent 30 minutes talking about how, yes, you need to help people, but at what point does help turn into, okay, when are you going to pay me?
Right.
And because there's a transaction there.
There is.
But what I find interesting is you've had no secret of where you do business, how you do business, and you've told people thousands of times a day, you want a deal? Go throw a bandit sign on the outskirts of a metropolitan city.
That's it.
There's no point in putting a bandit sign in the city. Nobody's buying, or not nobody. Go on the outskirts. You throw a bandit sign out there, it'll stay there for 3 months. Yeah. And you can do deals out there, but nobody wants to drive.
I got 2 bandit sign calls on the way up here.
Yeah. In the middle of nowhere.
And we ain't put out bandit signs since Christmas.
Yeah.
And, those are things that we do. There's so much there. I don't want to say it's easy because it's not easy. Right now, our board's empty. You know what I mean? Right. We have no fresh leads. It's like, we're making offers. We're just not getting any of them across or accepted. And we're having to follow up. We're having to work for it. That's okay. You know what I mean? That's fine. Right. But I see this every day. I see people that want to come out and do it. And like Marsha and Jay, they were in our first little rap class we did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it was a great, phenomenal class. I didn't know what I was doing when I was teaching it, but they came out to it. They were there every weekend. It was a 5-weekend deal where we walked that deal. And here's the thing. We bought that for $40,000. Okay. We had a $95,000 cash offer on it, and we took the owner finance offer. Now I look back and I'm like, I should have took the cash.
Yeah, because I mean, money now, money future, whatever. But
should have took it.
Unless the overall is going to be $200,000-$300,000 or something, then it's like, okay, well, that way trumps $50,000.
Well, just let the market be the decider of what something's value is. Yeah. We wanted the cash flow, so we took the cash flow. But now it's like, whatever. We should have took that money.
Well, I mean, it's. Look at if you win the lottery, they say 99% of people take the cash now, and right. Experts supposedly say, well, that's the right decision.
It is, because money's going to go down in value.
Right.
So that's anyways, yes. Some point you're going to have to start quit leeching on people, or if you're going to want them to do it for you, you're going to have to pay them to do it for you. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Now, I also am a firm believer, just like now, I go in and do all these and everybody's like, man, I would have paid $500 for that, just for that one day. But I wouldn't have paid $500 until right now. You know what I mean? I'd only paid $100 to show up, but now knowing what I know, I'd have paid 500. Well, that's the free market speaking. When the room's full, then there's a price increase. You know what I mean? But until the room's full, there's no price increase. So overall goal of the events is going to lift the brand up.
Right.
But I'm adding another product. I mean, we're waiting on $900,000 in funding to get settled out and hit our bank account. So we raised $900,000 to remodel an apartment complex. When we do that, when we pay that one off, the money that's on that apartment, we're going to roll into another apartment and remodel it at the same time. So we're going to be doing 32 units and 16 units at the same time. We've got another one that's going to close next week that we're selling into a different entity that friend of ours is partners on. Mm-hmm. And we're going to remodel it at the same time. So we got 16 units. We're going to be remodeling 64 apartments all at the same time, straight down the line. And these are, we bought these deals. We've owned them for a while now, and things just move slower than we realized when we were buying them. Okay. But to get access to all that information of what we're doing, as soon as that 900,000 materializes in our bank account, I'm opening up a Facebook group, and it's going to be $2,500 to be in the Facebook group. And we're going to put every bit of communication, every bit of pictures, every bit of video, everything to document that journey is going in that Facebook group. And, that part, it's like, that's where the most demand is right now for pricing on out of the $5,000 top of the line year-long mastermind. Nobody's interested in it. They are, but they're not. They're just paying the $5,000 to get the apartments. You know what I mean? And so it is a year. It's going to be owner finance. It's going to be Airbnb. We're going to bring in people. It's going to be a lot of value in the $5,000. But most everybody's like, I want to learn multifamily.
Well, at the end of the day, it's whether, even like with this podcast we just now, this video whatever you want to, this stream, I don't know what the hell you call it, is we talked about some random stuff, and I'm sure 92% of people don't give a shit about the behind the scenes of events, but they might go, oh, I want to hear about that, because maybe the quality of the mic is like an ASMR thing, or maybe they just like me, or maybe they like you, and maybe it's interesting,
or maybe they're under the belief there's a whole bunch of money in events, and that they can jump in here and be a Ryan Harper, and they'll pay Ryan Harper $300 to shadow him for a day at an event. And now you got 300. Now you got 10 people following you around. That's $3,000. Oh, well, can I put them to work? And yes, that's what I was about to say. And you got free labor.
Oh, in that case, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just offer it. You just put it out there. And if somebody pays, they pay.
Yeah.
If they if it scares them away from events for life, that's on them. You know what I mean? You didn't come out and say there's bukus of money in events.
What's funny with the events though, it's like, hey, because the Propellia event is fairly popular. A lot of people come out to it, and people are like, how do you promote that thing? And I'm like, I get on Facebook, I pull up a list of everybody that's signed up, and I go to their Facebook page and I say, hey, and I put on their page, thanks for coming out. And then once I know somebody has come to the event and I see they haven't registered, I go to their Facebook page and I call them out. Hey, why haven't you signed up for the event yet? And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And I've seen somebody try that once. They did that for one event and they never did it again, because it sucks.
It does.
Like I did a couple of live streams for the last one. I'll probably do that all tonight. Well, hopefully I'm on a date tonight. We'll figure that out. But you just get on live stream and just start promoting. You just got to promote and tell people about it.
Yeah. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
This is funny.
You're going to call somebody?
No. Hey, for real. I don't know what date it is, but we have a gas station.
Okay.
Funny ass story. Google it up. I don't know if you can put it on the screen, but Google.
I could do it later. Yeah.
You might Google it right now. I don't know if you can, but there's a movie that they're filming here in Dallas. It's a Hollywood movie, and it's called fuck.
It's called fuck.
No, but I want to know what there's the guy's name's Jason, but I can't remember the actor, but I know him. Like whenever you see him, you're like, oh, dude, I know that guy.
Well, it's funny. I got a text from a friend of mine the other day. She's like, "Oh my God, have you seen the new Cheers series on Netflix?" I'm like, "I know about it. I haven't seen it yet." She's like, "Oh, it's really good." And then 5 minutes later, she's like, "Oh my God, you're friends with?" I'm like, "Yeah, I went to school there, and
Yeah.
I know those people."
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Netflix Cheer thing, yeah. And I actually was talking to Monica. She's like, "Yeah, we got a 5-year deal. That doesn't mean we'll have 5 seasons, but I have
Right.
at least it's a 5-year contract."
Well, it's Till Death, Till Death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that movie is being filmed at our gas station, and they have invited us out to meet the stars
Mm-hmm.
and all that. I don't know how many scenes they're shooting. They're going to be there for a full day. They're like, we're going to have catering. We're going to have all this. You are more
Yeah.
welcome to come hang out. So I want you to come out. I want you to come
I'll
out.
come out, yeah.
And
But I'm sure they don't want you to publicly.
oh
put that
no,
out there.
we're going to be publicly like they're giving Roughneck to real estate a movie credit. That's the only thing I asked for. They were trying to pay us. I was like, no, give me a movie credit.
Oh, what were they going to pay? Like a rental fee for the
Yeah,
day?
they're going to pay a rental fee. That's what that guy was just texting about. He's like, hey, it's going to be $1,200 to clean this place up. And do you care if, because he said, no, we'll pay you the fee and give you the credit. I was like, dude, I don't want the fee. He's like, do you care if we waive the fee? I'm like, waive the fucking fee. Like, I just want the movie credit and whatever the free food is that day. And if y'all don't keep me away from the directors and producers or whatever, like I'm gonna be doing my own thing. Be pitching my own show. Be like, hey, what y'all think about?
Are you gonna publicly say, hey, we're gonna have a meetup, get on this movie, and then have like they're gonna have the rope lines, and you're gonna have like 100 roughneck real estate groupies?
I don't know. I haven't decided.
I think you should just pick a select few people.
No,
that hang out.
I think it should just be a select few, but I want you to be there because
Yeah.
I think the content that you'll come out with it will be fucking great.
Well, just the story behind it.
Yeah,
you know?
like no, it'll be fun.
Well, like y'all were doing that fish fry. Stuart reached out and said, hey, we're doing a fish fry Friday. I was like, cool. And then, like the Thursday night, he's like, sorry, we have an appointment, so it's been canceled or it's been moved to Sunday, and I couldn't make it. But when it was on the Friday afternoon, it was on my calendar.
Dude, and we're gonna do more of that. Like we're gonna do more of that stuff down in Grosbeck stuff. Bring your guns, come shoot.
I didn't realize how far away that was until last time I was driving to Houston.
Yep.
Was it on the way to Houston?
Yep.
Yeah, going to Houston, I was like, golly, Grosbeck is like halfway to Houston.
Yep. It's middle of everywhere. But we're gonna do more Grosbeck weekend.
Cool.
I think, I'm not sure. My flight leaves at 6:30.
Cool. We'll wrap up.
But anyways, yeah. Only thing about this is we're gonna have something at every price point. And I recommend you have the same, Ron.
Oh yeah.
There's somebody out there that's gonna pay you $100,000.
Oh,
they would rather pay you $100,000.
So what are your businesses right now that you're working on?
So my business is, I mean,
business.
The apartment. Well, we're spinning off Roughneck Real Estate in its own entity.
Mm-hmm.
Clean up taxes and stuff like that. The apartment business is the big business. Mobile home parks, we're owner financing some of them off, and we're still flipping houses. So we're going to flip houses. I don't know if we can flip through a down economy, but we're going to flip houses and stack cash as long as we can. And these events, I mean, we're just going to keep doing these events, and we're going to do them the way that we know how, which is, in person. Like a lot of people are like, dude, you just need to get a camera and get you, I'm like, we'll do some of that too. But I couldn't, like these marketing events would not work through a camera. Like, you know what I mean? Like the room is very valuable.
First of all, like say you watch a million hours of content on YouTube.
Right.
And you can get a lot of that. You can get a lot of anything in this business you can get on YouTube. It's already there. But finding it is hard. But being in the right room with the right people, asking the right questions, and then receiving the right answers will make or break everything in you.
Dude, yeah, everybody looks at it and and they think, man, that's a lot of work. And I'm like, I don't like the traveling aspect of it. Like I'm going to Nashville tonight.
Yeah.
Getting there at 8:30, Uber out, whatever, you know what I mean? Be eating at 9:30, got to wake up, start the event at 8. I'm not in Nashville. I'm sleeping.
So,
you know what I mean?
So we're talking about the YouTube, and I know we're wrapping up, but I just thought this is Super Ninja that I'm doing, and abundance got to share. So I have several people that work with me for the notes thing. Well, I'm not an expert in notes, and so what I'm doing is, because I literally just said all this information's on the internet for free. So what I've been doing lately is scouring YouTube, coming across a video. Okay, there's some good content here. I then download that video and I edit out all the bullshit. All the, hey, join my mastermind, come to this. Hey, everybody, welcome, good morning, blah, 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 blah. Because nobody cares.
Right.
It's like, tell me how to do this. Tell me how to do that. Define this, define that.
Right.
And I'm editing down. Like I did, there was one video that was like 3.5 hours of actual cold calling, examples of talking to banks,
Right.
etc., and a lot of meat there. I edited that down from 3.5 hours to 1 hour. And it was just like,
And now we're using it to train your team.
yeah, it's on unlisted video on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's there for people to have real world examples of how to do stuff.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm doing that even so. Anyway, so if you have a team, maybe that's a good idea.
Well, that's a skill set that if you could train a VA to do, you could sell that.
Well, but then there's also the idea of knowing what's good there or not.
That is hard.
Yeah.
But you know, that's some really good stuff. But that's one of the things that I've learned in the last 5 years. Like we're just now getting caught up enough, and it's like we've got to sit down and do some major training in our office staff. Mm-hmm. And YouTube's the way to do it. Sit down, do your job, show it on YouTube. So if this person quits, you now have training videos to train their replacement. And one of the biggest mistakes we made in that business was not hiring enough people. We were paying $2,000 a month for an answering service to answer our phones. When $1,600 a month in Groesbeck would get you a 22-year-old college student, whatever, part-time person to answer the phone. But the great thing about that is she can become a $35,000 to $40,000 a year employee from that role when somebody else quits. When the eviction girl quits, you already have familiarization with all of our softwares and processes and personalities. You're in this hole now. And then you hire the girl that works the phone again. But we didn't do it. And I was like, we need to do this. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. And then our eviction girl quit. Oh, and it was painful. Because in low budget rentals, you've got from the 5th, rent's due on the 1st, late on the 5th.
Right.
Eviction notices go out on the 6th. You've got from the 6th to the 11th to collect that rent. They get another pay period in there somewhere. If you don't get it, it's gone. Because they don't have the cash reserves or anything to ever get caught up at that point. And if you don't talk to them every day for those days, they will not get caught up. So at the beginning of December, we had 42 evictions on our board. Mm-hmm. Only 7 went through, right? That took a tremendous amount of resources, and our eviction girl had quit. So that was 6 days of leasing that we didn't get done because our leasing girl was the only person we could put in that hole. Mm-hmm. We should have put DJ in there. All you got to do is call them every day and be like, hey, you going to pay your rent? Yeah, I'm going to pay it tomorrow at noon. All right. Tomorrow at noon, you call them back. Hey, you paid your rent? No, I'm pulling up to the bank right now. Okay. 20 minutes later, you call them back. Hey, you pay your rent? Yep, got it in there. Should see it any minute. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's called chasing rent. It's a low budget rental. It's why people hate low budget rentals. Hate them.
Right.
But
because it's a daily process to get your money.
For those days, yeah. It's life right now. I mean, life's pretty easy on the rental side. We have vacancies that we're trying to fill, but that's a never ending process, and we're building out a system for that too. So
cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man. I know you got to get out of here, get up to the airport.
Well, I just don't want to be late.
That's all good, man. So go to we'll drop a link below for all your masterminds and whatnot. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I got a Linktree link. I don't know what it is though.
And I'm sure this will be peppered with affiliates. Going back to that conversation.
Yeah, no, you got an affiliate, I think. You do.
Yeah.
But
but that one's weird because you have to do one for each event.
No.
Oh, there's a master one.
Hold on.
For the Eventbrite.
I think it gives you a master discount code, but it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. It doesn't pay you anyways. I got to pay you.
Oh, okay.
So if you use the master discount code, I can still pay you the same.
Okay. Well, I'll figure it.
It's Ryan, all caps.
So anytime you buy something for Corey, just say Ryan.
all caps on Eventbrite.
Cool.
That's it. So
Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in. I'm the cool. Another thing that's cool about this being my own thing is, I mean, we could do this. Oh, I'm in Dallas. Okay, cool. Let's drop some.
no,
Is it called dropping bars?
yeah, no. Come on. What the fuck?
You just play with the buttons on.
There's a baby. What? Did you get to pick these?
Yeah. I just.
Uh-oh. Hot fire coming in.
It's riveting TV.
That's great. Dude, that is great.
Yeah, cool. You can pick anything.
$600, huh?
I guess something like that.
Well,
I'll show you how to do it. Buy it and I'll show you how to do it.
all right, man. Sounds good.
Cool.
Later.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Dude, this is awesome. Like that sound, it's intense. Like it feels good.